Okay. Good morning. This is the VOLTHA TST meeting, weekly VOLTHA TST meeting, and it is being recorded for posterity. Okay, so we got to have a few items to go over this morning. Okay, so this is a release item from the past, just to give you an update what's been going on with this. So I've been working on trying to get the VOLTCTL binary and indirectly the BBSIM binary updated to the latest versions. The problem a while back we ran into during the 2.11 release, and I thought I had this fixed, was the method that we were using to interact with GitHub to publish releases had changed. We're using a new tool now. GitHub provides a tool called GH. It's a command line interface. It's actually pretty nice. You authenticate, and the tool abstracts several of the commands that you would normally have to run to interact with a REST API. So it is pretty nice. So what's been going on so far? I've been updating the GitHub release script, which is the access point for Jenkins to actually do the release to GitHub. That's been rewritten to work with the new GH tool. And if you want to see it, I put links in here, links in the meeting agenda. There's a link to the user's manual in here if you want to go play around with it. All you need to do if you want to play around with the tools, you create a personal access token, or go into GitHub, create a personal access token for yourself, and you can interact with repositories based on what your user access and level is. You do queries and searches and all kinds of fun stuff. So part and parcel with this, I had to I've gone in, created a new set of credentials and access tokens for the Jenkins user to do the interactions to perform the release. Prototyping I did earlier, and I know Torsten noticed some changes showing up in the repository. I did a little prototyping session with the GH command to verify we could do the queries, log in, log out, to release all of that fun stuff. So for my little toy example, everything was working correctly, and you'll see some oddball versions in the release area for VOLTCTL. Those will be removed soon. I've been trying to import all of that code in the authentication into the existing GitHub release script that we use in Jenkins. The problem I'm running into right now is when I try to perform the release, so this is essentially so going to the GitHub release wiki, I've dumped all the notes in here. So the steps are basically create a temporary directory, download the latest GH command line tool to do the interactions, GH login, build up the release, and then do a GH release create. When we're done, do a GH logout, and then remove the temp directory where we're playing around. And this is just some of the output from the script that is run. We print a banner to show the date and time and arguments. We download the command line tool. Let me see. So in this case, it was version 2.25 is the time when I ran this. For logging in the Jenkins log, the tool will spit out what it's going to do, create the download area, generate checksums for the binaries we'll release, upload everything to GitHub, and then create the release from that. So here's some playing around. You can do you can use the GH tool to list releases on the repository. So it was able to find data. When we ran the release, I'm getting an error right now. And this, I think, I'm pretty sure is a red herring. We're getting an error that we can't connect to github.com, which makes no sense because login and authentication work properly. We're able to contact the remote or contact github.com and get a release version listing, but the actual release create call that I'm running right now that has worked from my account is failing when we try to use Jenkins credentials. So I believe this problem, this is the only one that's still remaining, because once this runs, we actually do create the releases on GitHub. I believe the problem may be the GitHub user that we created personal access tokens for. I'm suspecting that some of the read-write credentials that are needed for the repository may be missing. And GitHub generally tries to obscure errors to not show information about users or the internals of the API calls that are being made. So my assumption is we're lacking permissions. The underlying problem is a permissions problem, and the error is just being obscured to the point of we can't connect, rather than potentially exposing something. But as soon as I can get this straightened out, I'm going to go check the permissions today. This should be the last piece, and we should have the VOLTHA and the BBSIM binaries, the latest ones, available on GitHub. And I know that's a lot to digest. So does anybody have any questions about any of this? Yeah, it's essentially debugging right now, trying to find errors. So that's all I'm doing.
Is the release of the owner is the same issue, or is there another issue?
The release of Onos is a separate issue. I'm trying to remember if that was a dependency problem. Some of the components, I want to say we needed VOLTCTL to build. I don't remember if Onos is related to that, but yeah, the Onos, the Helm charts, the versioning, all of that fun stuff. That's going to be next in line. As soon as I can get the VOLTCTL binary out of the way, I can start debugging those other problems.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. I'll try and put status updates for the individual stuff I'm working on too, just so you guys are aware of it. Let me see. Okay, so the second item, this is just a holdover from, what was it, 2 weeks ago. Mahir, I think he had an appointment today, so he couldn't be with us. So Mahir was having problems with some strange TST meeting invites in his calendar. I think what we ended up finding out is there may have been stale meeting invites in his calendar, and he just had to go in and delete them out. I did send out an updated invite. They're purple now rather than blue. And if you'd like, if you go into the meeting invite, at the bottom are links to either, you can add the entire ONF public calendar meeting events if you want to in your calendar, or just add the VOLTHA TST meeting. But this is what you should see with the new meeting agenda. There's a link to the rolling agenda, the wiki page, and a link to click for the Zoom meeting. And if anybody has problems finding it, just let me know and I'll send it out again. Okay, I guess, and with that, I guess we can open up the floor if anybody has any questions or comments or topics they want to bring up. And
hi, this is Amit.
Hi.
Yeah, Abhilash pinged me. He's not able to join today, but his request was that there are quite a few patch sets up there for review. So if folks can, whoever is there in the reviewers list, if they can spend some time on that, that would be appreciated. That's what he was saying.
Okay. Yeah, I got to start paying. I haven't. I'll try and do some of them on Garrett as well. Okay.
Which patches are? Amit?
Sorry.
Which patches?
Uh,
We know.
I don't know the exact ones, but I think he has some on the Protos and also some in the new VoLTHA adapter.
Would people have been prompted for code review review requests because you may be able to search on your name if you're listed as a reviewer. And if you go to the main page, you should be able to find any open reviews in here for yourself.
Amit, I think Serkan had a communication to a colleague, and I think he should follow up because he brought up some issue with blocking of channels, I think. Adapter. I don't know if Serkan can be explicitly triggered to have a look at it.
Okay. What I will ask Vilas to do is to send the list of the patches in the Slack channel.
But what I've seen that the Jenkins verification jobs for example for OpenOU adapter are not, seems to not work any longer. There seems to be problems which are probably not related to the changes. Joey, do you know if there's could be something wrong with this verification job?
I'm sorry, which verification job was it?
Perhaps you can have a look at the OpenOU patch. You just had a list with the patches. OpenOU adapter. This two up. Wait a minute.
This one? Oh,
No,
that one was merged.
Deeper.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The 33585. Yeah, there.
Okay. All right, so
I think he's constantly trying to.
build failed.
But he's still failing. I think these failures are not related to his change.
Sanity test. Let's see, console output. Config file not found.
You have to go up. There's the error.
Oh, whoops, yeah. Stack trace would be helpful.
Up. Up.
This is where it would be nice to fail early. Let's see. Install. Regex. Downloading schemas, labels. Kind command not found. That's one. That's the first one.
But I think this will always occur. Can you go down a little bit more?
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have a make file.
World control.
World control. Yes, it's world control.
Yeah, so the reason is that the world control is not working, right? Thorsten, I think that is the same issue why the normal regression tests are not working, right?
Yes, it's the same issue in the pipelines.
It looks like
if you go a little bit down, then you can see that there's your version 3.41. Yes. This is an issue that the world control.
All right. As soon as I can get the VOLTHA release out, that will correct that problem.
Yeah.
Not command.
Of course.
That is strange. Not command not found. All right.
So, Jay, in the previous point, instead of me, it will be Abhilash who will.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait today. Oh, I'll go.
Open all new adapter, I think.
Oh, and you? Okay.
Hmm.
All right. That's just a note to remember to check on it. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be working on the Volt CTL, trying to straighten out that, checking on the user access token and just verifying that the user that it's connected to has permissions to do the release. And hopefully that'll be straightened out today. Okay. Does anybody else have any other items they'd like to bring up? Oh, and if anybody's aware of any of other Helm chart versioning problems, I've got a list started. If you can open up Jira tickets for them, just so we have, something to follow up with later on, that would be helpful as well. Okay, I guess if nobody has anything else, I guess it'll be another short meeting this week. Let me see. Well, I guess thanks for joining.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.